Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back here to the Megan Moves channel. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, guys. If you've been around here for a little while, you know for the past couple of weeks I've been doing some Disney live streams talking about some various Disney content, Disney topics, and I'm excited tonight because we're going to be talking about the Disney College Program. And I have my friend Matt Mellish here from the Matt Mellish channel. And
Hello.
he actually was able to participate and do the program. So very excited to have him here tonight to talk a little bit about it, tell us about it, and we're going to go into a little bit of detail. So, hey, Matt, thanks for tuning in tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Megan. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm doing great. It's good
been a
to,
while.
I know it has been a while.
Because for those of you who don't know, we were in cross
Mhm.
country together. So I haven't seen you since like high school probably, which is amazing to like still be in touch and doing all this right now. So thank you for having me on. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm glad that you could be here. I appreciate it. And yeah, like you said, it has been a while, but it's crazy how you can reconnect and, mutual
Totally.
interests and everything.
Totally.
So this is great. So thanks everyone again for tuning in tonight. Obviously, we're talking about the Disney College Program. I have some questions here for Matt. I got some questions from you guys through Instagram and everything. But if you're here, in the chat, feel free to put your questions in. We'll just talk to Matt, hear about his experience and everything. So I see Two Broke Mice, you're here. Katrina, thanks everyone. Let us know in the chat if you're here, and we'll go ahead and get started. So to start here, let's introduce our guest here. Matt, if you want to just talk a little bit about yourself, your content, a little bit of a background about you, we'll start out with that.
Yeah, sure. I'll try to make it as brief as possible.
Hey,
Hello,
it's all
guys.
good.
My name is Matt. I actually just graduated college, which is crazy to think about. I was a graphic design and marketing major there at Mercyhurst University in Erie, Pennsylvania. Shout out to my home college. But I ended up doing the Disney College Program last year in 2019. I did the Spring Advantage, and I can get into what that means in a little bit. But I ended up after school, because of the current state of the world, I ended up just creating content on TikTok and YouTube, which I've been wanting to do for a long time now. I really look up to content creators in general, and I thought, why not try it out? Well, on TikTok, I'm currently at 100,000 followers, so shout out to my TikTok crew. Thank you so much, guys. And I do make a lot of, as you can see, Lego content in the background. But I also love Disney. I love Star Wars, and I'm a huge fanboy. What can I say? But yeah, that's probably all you need to know about me for now.
No, definitely, for sure. No, thanks for that little intro. And yeah, everybody, if you can go and obviously check out Matt's content after this. I know he's got a lot of great videos, but if you're on TikTok, definitely go look him up. He's got a lot of good Lego content. And I know for myself personally, I love your Lego videos, the intros to, some of the sets that you collect or that you assemble and everything. Yeah. I love the little like claymation type, videos that you make where you show how you assembled them. I think that's super cool, and that probably takes a ton of time, but I really think it's pretty enjoyable.
Oh, yeah. It's well worth it. Stop motion animation is really cool, a lot of fun. I'm getting more and more into it. I'm starting to get better at it. I make them as intros on my YouTube videos because I do some Lego reviews here and there. I also have like a Disney College Program series that I've been working on, which I recorded a lot of vlog content. Whoa, that's a lot to say. A lot of vlog content down at Disney when I was there because I also wanted to edit that together. So I've been working on that. I've been working on sorting through all that footage because it's just an eclectic mix. My content is just an eclectic mix in general.
Hey, it's all good.
I look at content as like, you have to have a niche, right? Well, I think my niche is just my personality, and I'm a very outgoing guy. I'm an open book, so ask me whatever your little heart desires. I'm
that's great. That's perfect. Yeah, I was able to check out some of your Disney College Program vlogs and stuff this weekend, so I'm excited to get into hearing a little bit more about your experience and some of your memories and stuff that you had. So yeah. The first question that we have tonight, of course, is probably self-explanatory, but let's hear, what is the Disney College Program actually?
It sounds pretty basic, but a lot of people don't really understand what it fully is. So basically, the program is an opportunity for you to go down to Disney, whether it be in Florida. That's why I say down, because I went to do the one at Walt Disney World in Florida, and I'm from Pennsylvania. So either in Florida or Walt Disney land in California, and you have the opportunity to work as a cast member in the parks, have firsthand experience and really get to network with people who are working every day with the company and just, I don't know, make an impact on people who visit the parks on a daily basis. And I think that's the best part about it. And I can get more into that later on, but just like making a guest experience at Walt Disney World is incredible. And to think that I, in some small way, affected a child's experience as he went into Animal Kingdom, which is where I work, for the first time is mind-blowing to me. So really is, like I said, just an opportunity to go work in the parks and not work, make magic in the parks,
There you go.
as we say at Disney. And it's been a while since I have brushed up on my Disney terminology because I haven't been down there for a year or so. So trying to refresh that in the memory is a little bit difficult to start. But just being able to make magic on a daily basis was so enjoyable, and I'm just blessed to have had the opportunity to be down there.
No, definitely, for sure. Yeah, I don't think I obviously knew about, working in the parks growing up or whatnot, but didn't know that the college program even existed. And I think looking back, if I would have known about it, I definitely probably would have applied or something like that. Because I think that being a cast member is probably a really hard job, but it's probably super rewarding. Like you were saying, you have families coming, they're looking forward to their, summer vacation, whatever vacation to Disney. And so I'm sure it was a ton of fun being able to be down there, especially in the parks all the time.
Yeah, and you do have that park access to go and actually enjoy it as a guest and play in the parks, as they call it. And that was even better. I mean, in some ways, but honestly, the best part was when I got to go into Animal Kingdom and actually take on my role of being a Photopass photographer. Some people do it for the perks, right? And there are an amount of perks with it, but truly, I think, I worked extra. I took hours from other people because I just wanted to have time making magic and make the most out of my experience down there. So
yeah, that's awesome.
It's just so much fun. So much gratification can come out of it.
Definitely. No, I can totally see how that would be a rewarding job. I love that. That's awesome. Well, that's great. Yeah. And I guess for second question, let's get into what made you decide to apply for the program. Like, how did you hear about it? Like, what made you decide to actually do it?
I think you'll enjoy this story.
Okay.
I'll try to be as brief as possible, but it ends up always being long when I explain this to people. But so I, as a junior in college, was in kind of a bad headspace, honestly. I was struggling and I was overworked. I was working 4 jobs at the time in school. I had 18 credits worth of class, so that's 6 classes. I was tired and miserable. And this was only like the first month of that semester. And I wanted to make a change. I didn't know what to do. And I started listening to people on social media, like talking about motivation and stuff like that online, just trying to find something to keep me going. And I realized that I'm in control of my own happiness, right? I have the ability to go and pursue my dreams, whether that's in college or out of college, whenever, at any point. And my goal in life was to work for Disney. And luckily I made that choice to be able to get there. But beforehand, it just seemed so far away. Like, oh yeah, that goal is out there and I have no idea how to achieve that. So I did some research and I started looking online and I discovered what the Disney College Program was. And I applied. The night I applied, I was working an event at school because I was the outreach coordinator. It's a long story, but we were running an event and I had to apply like before midnight. I applied literally a minute before midnight because the event ran late. And I don't know, for those of you who have applied, you will know what I'm saying. When you go, you're filling out the application online, it's all in browser. So if you refresh that browser, it's gone. You lost all of it unless you started it in a Word document and then went over. So I accidentally refreshed my Word browser or my internet browser rather, before submitting it. And then I had the event that I went to. So all that progress was lost. I went to the event, had to finish it before midnight, finally got my first application out, realized in the next 2 days that I made it to the next step. And it was crazy. Like, it all just kind of kept going and going, but it definitely happened for a reason. And it just felt that way throughout the entire like process of applying. So I mean, I was just not in a good headspace at the time is the moral of the story. And I was looking for something different. And it definitely was that thing that I needed to really uplift me and
Mhm.
like it made me think that I was good enough finally. Like I was struggling through a lot of those thoughts in school, as a
Mhm.
lot of college students do. Like, what am I doing? Is this right? I never feel like I'm like at the point where I'm doing my best work and then having the opportunity to be accepted into the Disney College program by your dream company is a dream come true, of course.
Definitely, definitely. No, that's great. Yeah, I know, like you said, college can be hard for everyone. I know I went through, some things. Mine was sophomore year, not junior year, but I totally get that. And that's just, perfect timing, how everything, fell into place and stuff like that. So I think that's great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So we have a question here from the chat, which kind of gets a little bit into some of the future questions that I have, but we can address it now here. So the Two Broke Mice, they are asking, do you work in the DCP using your degree from college?
So you can, but it's all about you and what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So when you apply, you select all the different roles that you would like to be offered. So for me, I selected Photopass photography because that's what I ended up actually getting into. And my degree was graphic design and marketing. So Photopass photography is like perfect for me because it's, your skills as a photographer are often similar to that of a marketer or a videographer, and using the same degree really.
Mm-hmm.
So I selected that. I selected a lot of things just because even if it didn't fit to my major in college, I wanted the opportunity to go down there. So if they accepted me in anything, like, I'm thrilled.
Yep.
But some people are very selective in that, and it kind of depends on that, how your phone interview goes, all of that. Because they want to know about your experiences and what you're studying in school and how you can apply that to Disney.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not solely based on that. No.
Gotcha. Gotcha. No, that makes sense. And I think you touched on it a little bit, but what was your actual role whenever you did the program, just so we can talk about that really quick?
I was a Photopass photographer at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Gotcha.
So
And
amazing.
I know it's a self-explanatory name, but I know sometimes, I have family or whatnot that I try to explain the Photopass to and everything. Can you just give a quick little brief,
Yeah.
what is the Photopass system and that they do in the park?
Well, people who go to Disney sometimes don't even know what Photopass is, and I had to explain that to people there too.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just ironic because you go to all these amusement parks, right? And there's always that annoying person that stands at the front of the park. Hi, can I take your picture? And you're like, no, I just want to go ride a roller coaster. Well, Disney does it very differently. I'm not that guy, I promise you. Because what we do is we capture the moments that guests are having
Mm-hmm.
with their program that they purchase or don't purchase. So the way Photopass itself works, which I should probably explain, it's important for you if you're going to visit Disney too. You purchase your program either ahead of time or after you get your photos. You can take as many photos as you want, and you can look on the Disney app. You can see all of your photos that you've taken. And if you want to purchase just a few, you're more than welcome to do that or not. It's all about the fun of just taking photos while you're at Disney, really. And for those who do have the full program, you get all the photos that you want for whatever the price is. And I'm sure it's been changing and fluctuating lately too. So I'm not going to get into that exactly. But, it's about capturing the moment that often the photographer is creating too.
Mm.
So it was my job to really connect with people and kind of make it a moment, even if it didn't feel as much as a moment at the time. Like, how kids are sometimes like, I don't really want to take a photo right now, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah, 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 but the family wants it. And so
Yep.
you have to have the energy and the excitement to make that picture perfect, if that
Definitely.
makes sense.
Definitely. No, that I'm an annual pass holder and stuff, and my annual pass includes the photo pass.
Yes.
So I love taking advantage of anytime I'm, in the park, if there's a short line, even if I don't need the picture, I'll just get it really quick
Yeah.
and stuff. And I love the magic shots. I
Oh, yeah.
love the
Those
magic
are so
shots.
fun
I
to
think
do.
they're so fun. I love, looking at they're like, hold your hand out, and you're like, ooh, which character or what's it gonna be whenever I finally look. So
Yeah.
I love
For
them. I think
magic shots, some people, so different photographers do different stuff, and I'm sure you know this from being a pass holder, but some photographers really like set it up, and some people just are like,
Mhm.
okay, it'll be a surprise what you get. And
Yep.
I did a little bit of both depending on what the situation was. I had fun, so much fun with kids, and especially older people. Older people were hilarious. If you set it up, oh my gosh, look up in the tree. There's a big snake. It's Kaa from the Jungle Book. Ah!
Yep.
Like, you have to set it up sometimes and get them to pose in the way that you envision, because you know what's going to be there as a photographer. Also, I should say this. This is very, very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the parks, if you don't have the Photopass system, get your photos taken anyways. And also, if you don't think you want to necessarily purchase the photos, ask if they can do it on your phone, because we will always do that. People think, oh, I don't want to bother them, blah, blah, blah. No, we love taking it on the phone. Seriously.
Definitely. No, definitely. Yeah, especially like you said, if they don't have the system or whatnot, linked, or they didn't purchase it, they still want Disney photos, while they're there. So, and like you said, you're willing to take them. So I think that's great that you emphasize that. So, all right. So our next question, a lot of people, whenever I put my little question on my story, a lot of people were asking this. I think you talked about it a little bit, but how do you apply for the Disney College program? So I know right now Disney is not doing the program, but let's think in the future, whenever they bring it back, how can all these people apply, Matt?
Yeah. And I think that we do need to think positively about this all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect the worst, but hope for the best, right? That's what, at least my mentality, because you're prepared if something bad happens, but then you're ready and optimistic for things to lift. So let's think of it in a positive way. I like that. So basically, when you apply for the program, it's all in browser at first, like I mentioned. So you have the first application, and it's just a bit about yourself, your background, your resume, basically. What's your experience in general with work? Very, very basic. I made a very lengthy application for that first one. And, I explained how my experiences can relate to what I could do at Disney, right? So the 4 qualities of Disney, if you're really wanting to apply, write these down. It's super duper important.
There you
go. 4 qualities of Disney are safety, efficiency, show, and courtesy. Those 4 things are super important. Remember those. Those are the 4 keys of Disney. And if you do the college program, or if you did it, or you work at Disney, you know those 4 basic things very, very, very well.
Gotcha.
Safety, efficiency, show, and courtesy. So based on your work experience prior to going there or doing anything, you need to fill out the application with those things in mind. So basic application, and then there's what's called a web-based interview. And most people are cut in the very, very beginning. And so when I made it past that, I was like, oh boy, here we go. And what the web-based interview is what you think of an interview is like, we're talking, whatever. That's not what it is. It's actually a big personality test. So what you need to remember for that is just a bunch of questions, and you answer, they don't agree at all or highly agree, and then everything in the middle, right? So for that, what's important is not to lie, because you think you know what the right answer is, but the thing is, you need to be extremely consistent. If you're not consistent with that, the program will flag it and you'll be gone. Be consistent, be yourself, be honest. And another key to that, I like how I'm just giving tips and tricks. Just remember that you should try to stay away from the middle. Try to be at the ends as much as possible.
Gotcha.
Because then in the middle, this is where the gray area begins, and it could be all misread and misinterpreted. Stay at the ends. Highly disagree, highly disagree. Highly agree, highly disagree, rather. And then the third and final step is very, 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 very anxiety ridden. It is the phone interview. And when you have in your mind, okay, I'm getting a phone call from Disney. Yep. It's hard to be prepared for that. It's really, really difficult. What I would tell you all to do, if you're, like I said, thinking about applying, is go online and try to search as many people and what their experience was for that phone interview. Because they all ask different questions, but usually, and I'm glad that I did that. Some of them are consistent. Some of them are the same, that they ask over a longer period of time. So, for instance, they might ask you to give a specific job where something went wrong and you had to fix it. And what was that process like? They're very general, very broad. Or it also depends on what you applied for too. So like if you applied for attractions, one of the questions might be, if you were running the line for Splash Mountain. Well, that doesn't apply anymore, but at the time it did. So if you're running the line for Splash Mountain and a child comes up to you and they are excited to ride and they're not tall enough to ride, how do you treat that situation? What do you do to fix the problem?
Gotcha.
And the answer should be that you tell the child, unfortunately, you're not tall enough to ride. Maybe next time you come, you will be able to, but I know there's a great ride right over there that you can ride. So that's the answer to the question.
There you go. I feel like that's the dreaded, scenario. I always think of that when I see families, walking on a ride. I'm like, oh, what happens there? What would you do? So,
well, every kid's been there too, right? You've gone to amusement parks where you're like, I want to ride this so bad, and you can't. It's just what it is. But you need to be able to, as a cast member, calmly dissolve the situation, urge people to go elsewhere, and you're good.
Yep. No, that's great. Yeah, that's awesome. So we have another question here from Two Broke Mice. We'll bring it up here. So they are asking, are the international cast members in Epcot part of the Disney College program?
A lot of them are. Yeah.
Wow.
I had a friend who was a part of the Epcot cast, but she was in America because she was an American.
There you go.
But I do know that there were other people. We went and visited like my friends, other friends, who I think were working. Where were they exactly? I don't remember. Maybe it was in Norway. Yeah, I think so. Because they were working the Frozen stuff. Yeah. So yeah, they do. And they have a blast. They have a great time. And it's just one of those things, like, I couldn't imagine having that opportunity to actually be in another country and come to Epcot and try to bring that atmosphere to life from your home country. Like, I don't know, the culture is so different and it's so important, especially in Epcot.
Definitely. No, I think it's an awesome idea. I mean, having, the representatives, from their countries and stuff, I think it's really interesting. I like that they do that and stuff. So that's neat. I didn't realize that I thought it was just an international program that they were coming over through, but I guess that's cool that they're able to be a part of the college program as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a double header and it gives you so much more experience in your like work career, even if you don't stay with Disney.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's great. Well, this other question I had, I think you kind of addressed it a little bit, but just what is the process for getting accepted? I think you talked about, the phone interview, personality tests and everything. So it seems like it's a little bit of a lengthy process. How long would you say did it take you to finally get an acceptance?
So I would say a couple months, and it's a couple long months.
Yeah.
I forget what exactly date I applied. I'm pretty sure it was like middle of my semester of my junior year. So I think around October I applied. And I applied for the Spring Advantage or just the spring. And what the Spring Advantage is it's from your spring semester in college through the summer. So the end of the summer, like August. And the spring is just the end of the semester around May. That's when you end up going home. So I applied for both. And I would urge other people to do the same, unless you know that you can't stay super long. I mean, who doesn't want to work for Disney longer?
Exactly.
Especially if you have other life plans that you're trying to figure out. And that was the hard part for me. Is okay, I have these couple months here that I don't know what I'm going to be doing next semester. If I'm going to be staying at college or going to move to Florida. So, this is kind of important. But you get through it. It's a lot of stress. And then at the end, you finally see, or if, there are a ton of people, like I said at the very beginning, that, I'm sorry, unfortunately, you are no longer continuing after the first application. So it's kind of nice to get, at least I know that it's not happening yet,
Yep.
until you make it to the very end and then you get booted off the island, right? That's
Gotcha.
really
Yep.
sad.
Yep.
But no, it was a long process. I
Mhm.
also, fun fact, I didn't tell a soul. I didn't tell anybody that I applied.
Yep. Yep.
I think I might have said that in one of my videos, but like I didn't tell my girlfriend until I was halfway through, until I
Wow.
made it past the first point. Because if I tell people that I'm doing something, I don't want them to have a false hope or whatever. I don't want to have to
Mhm.
tell them, yeah, I didn't make it through. So I didn't tell her until I made it through like half of it. I didn't tell my parents because I knew
Wow.
what they would think, because my parents would be very skeptical, right?
Gotcha.
Like,
Yep.
are you sure this is a good idea?
Yeah.
Yes, and here's why, is what you need to say. But
Mhm.
I didn't want to get anybody's hopes up, including my own. And I didn't tell anybody until midway through, and then I told a few very important people in my life. And then the end, I was like, by the way, professors, I will not be here next semester.
Yep.
Can you like sign these papers for me, please?
That's
So
crazy. That's
yeah.
crazy. Wow. That's awesome though. That's great. I'm trying to remember where I last left off. Oh, that was it. Yeah, you kind of got into it a little bit about how long does a program last, or I
Ooh,
was thinking for some reason it was just the summer, but then I didn't even
no.
really think about, it didn't hit me like college program, during the college semester or whatnot. So what are the different options that you have whenever it comes to applying or actually doing the college program?
Sure. So what I did was, like I said, I did the Spring Advantage, which
Hmm.
was from February, like beginning of February to the end of the summer, or the beginning of August, really, when you go back to school. And a lot of people don't go back to school because they do it their senior year, and you can kind of figure that out with your own schedule and like mentally preparing for, okay, if I'm graduating college, I should apply then, or
Hmm.
or just do it like me and do it whenever you want to do it. Um, Whenever you feel the time is right. But no, I don't know. You have to figure it out for you personally and what you're personally trying to accomplish. A lot of
Mhm.
people go to do the Disney college program and they're like, I just want to work at Disney. I want to get out of college and I don't want to do assignments for a semester. And that's the wrong aspect. Like, that's the wrong mindset to have. Go with the idea of, I can make this my career. So there's the Spring Advantage. There's the spring, which is just
Okay.
that semester.
Yep.
The Spring Advantage is through the summer. There's the summer, and then there's the fall advantage, which is the summer and the fall. And then there's just
Okay.
the fall. So all of these different things that you could fit into your schedule however you want, like you said, based on what you want to do with the outcome of your college
Gotcha.
program.
Gotcha. Interesting. No, that's nice. They offer those different options, like you said, whatever fits in your schedule, your life plan, or
Yeah.
whatnot. So it's nice that maybe even if you don't get one, maybe if you apply, later on or something like that, maybe
Yeah.
it'll work out or something.
And
So
it's hard to explain because a lot of people, especially in college, are like, I don't know what I want to do. So that's
yeah,
why I'm trying to choose my words like appropriately for that.
gotcha. Gotcha. No, for sure. No, that's great. So I guess getting into a little bit of the college aspect of it. So can you get college credit during the program? I saw in one of your vlogs you were trying to register for courses. Like, how does that work when you're in college?
So the way every university treats it differently, really.
Yeah.
Um, some people do it for college credit. I did, technically. So this is also a part of the story of why and how I got to go and do this. My parents did not want me to go if it would set my college experience back or
Yeah.
if I would lose my scholarships. I would have lost my scholarships if I took a semester off, right? So that's a big deal. That's very
Mhm.
important for certain people, including myself. And just to
Yeah.
save money, I think everybody should try to get a scholarship of some sort.
Mhm.
So I had to go to the like internship counselor people at my school who were very, very nice, worked with me wonderfully.
Mhm.
They had to set it up to be an internship so that I could still be getting college credit for my internship and
Gotcha.
then keep my scholarships and be able to keep college going. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to do like courses at Disney for the college program. I took the courses that I did because I was excited to learn more about Disney, but some
Gotcha.
people do use them for college credit.
Oh,
Depending on what the course is sometimes. And they've changed it. That's why I'm saying that. When I was there, I don't know 100% if they were still doing that, but I know they did it in the past. It was not an area that I'm completely familiar with, honestly, because that's not what I did. But I do remember them saying, like, if you're doing this for college credit, you need to sign up for this or that. So there's a process to it. And if you get accepted, I'm sure people will help you figure that all out. But don't worry. It's very simple. It is hard to register for courses, though, I will say.
Yeah, I saw in your one vlog, it looked a little bit stressful and you were kind of going through all that experience. So I understand that.
Yes. When you have a web browser that, hundreds of people are getting on at the same time to sign up for, I mean, for those of you who have taken college classes, it's practically the same. But just think of, like, if you don't have a specific time to sign up and it's just everybody free for all, that's exactly how it is. Your browser crashes.
Yep. Nope. That's like PTSD for me, and me registering for college courses. It's like, get in there first, and then, of course, the website crashes. So I get it. You
would have thought they would have figured out a better program, but nah. And don't worry, by the way, if you don't get a class that you want, because there will be other opportunities. I actually didn't get an opportunity to have one of the earlier classes, but throughout my time at Disney, since I was there for like 7 months doing the Spring Advantage, I had other opportunities to apply for courses. So don't be too concerned right away about that.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. Well, thank you for all that, Matt. We have another question here, or just a little something from Two Broke Mice again. She's saying, when I was in school, we had to do a 6-month externship to graduate. Disney was at my school for recruitment. Was that the same program as a DCP, or might be something else? I feel like it could have been, or
They should be the same. I know there are professional internships, which I was wanting to do after Disney, but unfortunately those aren't available right now due to world circumstances. But I'm pretty sure that would be the college program, because for those of you who don't know, the professional internships are extremely difficult to get into.
Yeah.
But if you've done the college program, if you've taken that first step, you have a much better chance at getting those internships. I'm not trying to tell you not to apply if there are future internships that you would like, but doing the college program does really ensure your next step to pursue a career at Disney. So I'm pretty sure that would be the college program.
Gotcha.
Because like I said, you can do it for internship credit, like I did, to save your scholarships or just to get more college credits, whatever path you decide to take.
Gotcha. No, that's awesome. That's great. Yeah, and that goes back to some other questions that I had. I guess going back to the classes that you did take, so those were through Disney that you took those classes did you have to pay for those, or was it just kind of a part of your, wow, that's awesome.
They were free with the college program, and that's why I wanted to take advantage of them.
Yeah.
So I took a communications class, and I think I took a management class. Yeah, communications and management, which were really good. They have amazing stories, such as here's just a taste. What happens if something extremely bad happens on New Year's Eve in the park? How would you deal with that situation? If people can't get out of the park and you have to find a way to make it work, especially on New Year's Eve. And that has happened in the past. So they always ask you these questions with real world significance. And it's really like a problem solving technique, really. That was the management class. I took communications because obviously I'm a graphic design and marketer. I want more communications experience. I want to know how Disney does it. So if you have any specific things that you're involved with in school, depending on what your major is, and you just want to learn more about that, it's a great opportunity. And you can, I promise you, use that in future interviews for your career going forward, even if you don't stay at Disney.
Definitely. No, that's awesome. That's great. And I think that was one of the questions that I got asked on Instagram too, was does Disney pay for or cover any part of your tuition while you're doing the program? But it sounds, at least they are giving you those free classes, it sounds like, so.
Yes.
Depending also, like what you said with your school, if your school accepts it or however that works.
Yeah, they give you a lot. You're getting your time's worth for sure.
Mm-hmm.
They might not pay for, your college tuition while you're down there or anything like that. They don't do that, by the way. You have to do that yourself. But they give you so many resources that it's just unfathomable, especially with your access just as a cast member to like Disney connections. It's priceless. It's priceless.
No, for
So
sure.
you could pay double your college tuition with what you gain at Disney, honestly.
No, that's all. Yeah, just that Disney networking and who you can come in contact with. I think, like you said, that's worth it, especially if you're trying to get an end goal career with Disney. I think that's awesome. That's a great way to go.
Yes. And remember this, if you do the college program, this is so important to remember. If you are in your role and you want to work with a company, act like someone is always there and watching you perform, because you never know who's going to come and see you.
Gotcha.
It's very important. I had a good review one time because somebody at the top of Photopass in general saw me doing something, and it was really cool. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to brag about myself or anything like that. Just act like someone's always watching, because you never know what opportunities are going to open up for you if you do that.
Definitely. Yeah. No, you never know. Yeah. Who's watching or who's talking to who. So no, that's great. That's a good piece of advice for sure. Cause I know if you're working in the heat or, it can be easy to get frustrated, but just keeping that in mind is
in front of that Animal Kingdom sign, photo passing away. It's a hot grind, let me tell you. Because Animal Kingdom, I don't know if you know this, it is the hottest park.
Yes, that's what I've been hearing. As just my little facts I've been hearing, being a pass holder and stuff. I'm like, oh, I can see that, I guess.
It's a rainforest. Literally, it's a man-made rainforest. The trees around the park hold in the heat so much. So especially you're not on concrete like Magic Kingdom, but the trees, you would think you would have shade. No. The trees hold in the humidity. It's much more humid. That's what makes it hotter.
Wow. Okay. So I didn't know, the scientific reason behind it. I just knew, people were saying it is the hottest park. And so I was going with it. But now I have, when people ask me, I have the science to back it up. There we go.
Beautiful.
That's perfect. That's great. So we'll get into the program a little bit now, or some questions about that. And so besides obviously working for Disney, being in the park, what are the perks to doing the Disney College program?
It's so hard to answer, but so easy to answer at the same time, because there are so many things that you learn that you don't even realize that you learn until you're months down. I realized that my communication skills built so well there, because I can talk to anybody on the street now and just have a great day, because that's what you do as a cast member in general. You're just talking to random strangers who are guests in your park, and they're not strangers. They're people who are there to have a great time, and you're trying to help them do that. So just honestly, for me personally, my communication skills were so built up. Now there are perks I get into the parks for free. I can go anytime that I want. And that is a great perk, but that should not be the reason that you're doing your college program. Because the amount of time that you're spending in the park as a cast member is far greater than the amount of time that you get to be in there as a guest. And it's honestly, like I said, more fun. So just appreciate that. What other perks in general? Just there's so many lessons that can be learned, right? Yeah. For me, and everybody's different, and that's the beautiful thing. And it's all based on your role. For me, I learned a lot about photography in general, sure, but I learned what this might sound cheesy, but I learned for me where my happy place is. I didn't go to Disney. I went to Disney to be to further my career, but really I wasn't happy where I was at the time, and I wanted something different, and I found what that was. It's not a desk job. You can't just put it even into words very easily, but it's about making others happy. I'm happy. I'm at my best when I'm making other people happy. And I learned that about myself. There's just so much self-discovery that happens during your time in the Disney College program. So I think that answers it, but a lot of people say that, the main perk is getting the parks, but it's more than that.
No, definitely. No, and I think that kind of separates you from other people that maybe aren't trying to go for, full-time career. Cause I know if it were me, just thinking I'd be like, oh, getting in the park for free, any admission or whatnot. But,
Yeah.
just looking at, the whole experience as a whole, what you can learn, how you can grow from it, I think it's great and definitely a good mindset that you had about it. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that you touched on that because I know a lot of people would just say free passes, whatever, free time in the park or whatnot, which is a huge perk, but I like what you had to say about it as well.
And don't you get cast member discounts and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, if you're a cast member, you can go to next to Disney housing, like for the college program specifically, there is a Wendy's where you can get free Frosties. Like that's a perk technically.
Yeah.
Like if you're in Florida, I always used to ask like, do you have a cast member discount? And usually they do. So even just on like anywhere outside of Disney, sometimes they have a discount, but it's not about that really.
Yeah.
Because in all honesty, I also spent a lot while I was down there that I would have never spent money on before. Like, oh, I'm in Magic Kingdom. Sure. I'll have a Dole Whip. Yeah, totally.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, I know for myself, I go pretty often since I am a pass holder, but I try to pack my own snacks, pack my lunch because I know, I would be getting that Dole Whip every time. I try to because I go solo a bunch, but if I'm going with friends, that's like my time. Okay, I'll get a meal, whatever, get a snack. So I definitely understand Disney they'll get your money in other ways.
Oh yeah. Even from a cast member's perspective. And you know what? I was down there and I enjoyed doing it. So of course I'm going to buy a Dole Whip while I have the opportunity to. Why not?
Definitely. Yep.
And I like that you said that. If you do the college program, it's very important to realize you don't have to always go to the parks with friends. It's okay to go solo. It's fun. Depends on who you are as a human being, though, at times, for people who are more extroverted, but it's a blast, especially when you're a cast member, because you can always like find other cast members that you're friends with.
Yeah.
And just like, even if it's just in passing, like say hi, it's nice. It's fun.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of, and we'll maybe get into that a little bit later, but the friends, the relationships that you make through it. There's just so many people there, and just it's great. That's awesome. So, okay. So I think you touched on it a little bit when you're talking about Wendy's and everything, but I wanted to ask about what the living situation is whenever you do the college program. Like, what are the living options?
Sure. So without getting too in depth, and I would recommend that you do your own research once again for like everything that I'm saying, because it might differ in the future, or somebody might have had a better experience with a better place. Who knows? It's always different per the person. So like I said, do your own research. But I stayed in Patterson Court, and there are, for each place, there's like their own thing that a lot of cast members or college program participants say about it. So for me, what I loved about Patterson Court is that everybody said that it was like the old folks' home, which it was just a lot of the older CPs that lived there, really. And they're not like doing wild and crazy things that they shouldn't be doing. Yeah. And what I mean by that too is like, everybody loves a glass of wine when you're over 21. It's nice to sit on your balcony and drink a glass of wine. And that's what we enjoy, the finer things at Patterson Court.
There you go.
Relaxing by the poolside, not splashing around. Like, I don't know. That's why it's referred to as that, but it's a very nice place. I lived in a 5-person apartment. Yeah. 5-person apartment. My room had 3 people in it, and then the other room had 2. And you would think like, that seems like a lot. Well, it's not really. You have plenty of space. We never, as guys at least, never ran into a space issue, and that's why I say like do your own research, because if you're a girl, it might differ. But the rooms are very sizable. You have a huge living space, and it was just top notch quality. Now they do. I want to make sure I say this because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. They do take your living expenses for that apartment out of your salary. So just keep that in mind, because every price is different per the place that you want to live in. And you can choose, like, I want a 2-bedroom, 2-people apartment in Patterson. That is also part of the, like, it's the final part of the application process when you already know that you were accepted and you're like having to go and fill everything out. Like, oh, where do I want to live? Which is fun, but it's also kind of stressful because you're like, I don't know. Do I want a cheaper 3-bedroom, 3-person. And like I said, do your research, find out what those rooms actually look like. There's pictures everywhere online. So that's Patterson Court. There's Vista Way, which is a bit of a cheaper option. That's where the buses actually come through. Actually, I lied. So the way I put it's hard to explain without a map, but Patterson Court is over here, right? You have Chatham Square, and then you have the Commons. Those are the 3 places on this side of the road. On the other side of the road is Vista Way. The buses have to go through Vista Way all the time, but with Patterson, Commons, and Chatham, the bus only goes to Chatham. So that's where everybody has to congregate to get on the bus to go to the park. As a cast member, even, like, to go to work, basically, to go make magic. So when you're thinking about, like, where should I live, keep that in mind. Chatham, very nice, very, very nice place. It's a little cheaper, or at least it was the time that I was there, than Patterson. The rooms are a little smaller, so that is one of the perks of Patterson. But I mean, each environment has a different type of person.
Yep.
We'll say that.
Makes sense.
Without me getting too into it. And then Commons is even more expensive than Patterson. I believe it was the newest place that they had built. Very, very nice living situation there. I had a couple friends that lived over there, and I would go visit them every once in a while. Just very, very nice. Much bigger rooms than Patterson at times, depending on how big your apartment is. Like I said, 2-person, 4-person, 3-person, whatever. And then Vista, like I said, is the more cheaper option, but it's typically like younger CPs, younger college program people. When I say CPs, just remember that it's college program. I didn't clarify that, so I apologize. But for the CPs at Vista, they tend to be younger. They tend to, I don't know, be, sophomores and freshmen in college. Not freshmen, but sophomores and like early juniors.
Gotcha.
So find the place that fits you.
Yeah, definitely. No, that makes sense for sure. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I know. For me, I spent a summer working in Yellowstone, which is kind of the national park version of like what the Disney College program is. So I definitely get the living space. It's like there's whatever you're trying to go, for. That's maybe where you want to live. So
that all sounded like, I just realized, like, that all sounded like a big rant of me trying to explain it, because I'm trying to choose my words wisely, because I don't want to give a different place the wrong idea. I don't want to give someone the wrong idea to go to a specific place or to not. I know the personalities because I lived there for 7 months, but I'm not going to impose that on any of the wonderful options that you are able to live in as a college program member.
No, for sure. And like you said, do your research and
it's hard to explain.
figure out what fits best for you. So while you were talking about that, Two Broke Mice had another question, which I didn't even think to ask. I love this one. Matt, do you find yourself still doing the Disney 2-finger point? I think that's so funny.
So I only worked there for 7 months, and 7 months is a long time, but after a year has gone by, I no longer think about it. But if I worked there for longer than that, probably I would still be doing it. It's just been a year since I've been there. A lot of people do, and I did for the first part of my fall semester still. I always did that, and people are like, what's wrong with you? Like, what happened at Disney? Like, so yes, and you do it all the time, even when you're not making magic in the parks. You're always pointing at things with 2 fingers, and that's how you know a cast member from a non-cast member.
Yep. No, I gotcha. That's so funny. I'm so glad that they brought him up and stuff. So I think that's so funny.
Great question. I love that.
I love it. So we're coming, close to 8 or whatnot, but I just wanted to get some of your closing remarks, or just talking about some of your favorite aspects of doing the college program, some of your favorite memories, or just, any last minute things that you wanted to add. And if anybody in the chat had any last minute questions or whatnot, love to talk about those here.
Yeah. So like I said, it's an amazing opportunity. I was super blessed to be able to have the experience of fulfilling my dream of working for Walt Disney World. And you learn so much about yourself, about people, psychologically even, which sounds weird, but you learn it because in order to be able to, especially as a photographer, talk to people, make them feel comfortable, help them have the greatest experience at the world in the parks, you need to understand people and a little bit of how people think. You also make the greatest friends, right? So also, it's just like college. If you have gone to college yet, keep this in mind. The friends you think are going to be your friends at the very beginning often not your friends during the end. So it's okay to make new friends. I would ride the bus just to meet new people because I actually had my car down there, which is a fully different story about how my car broke down and I had to drive back through like all the states to Pennsylvania with a broken down car. And we didn't know if we were going to stop at any point, but that's a separate story.
Dang.
Stay tuned on my channel to find that story out.
Hey, there you go.
But no, you make the best of friends, and I still communicate with a number of them all the time. My one friend Katie, hello Katie, and Tanner specifically, hello Tanner. You make the best of friends, and it's just a different type of person that gets to work at Disney, right? And that's even the better part because, you know, it takes a special person to even want to work at Disney. And having the opportunity to be around so many interesting, amazing, inspirational people is beautiful. Being in Animal Kingdom where I was, one of my leaders was the Indiana Stunt Jones guy. He used to be the head of the production, and he knew a ton about like staging performances and everything. And then he worked on The Lion King, I believe. So like just being able to pick other people's minds is really cool. Now, for me, what was the best part of my Disney College program experience? This is what you want to hear. This is what you're here for, people.
Hey, there you go.
It's not the parks. It's not the cast member discount. It's not even meeting the people and the friends. It's being able, like I said at the very beginning, to make an impact. And what I mean by that is when you're a Photopass photographer, especially, and yes, I am trying to get people to want to be a Photopass photographer because it's the greatest. And every cast member says this. This is the greatest role you can get at Disney. What you get to do as a Photopass photographer is truly make magic from a different perspective. So what I mean by that is, like I said, you need to be able to bring up the energy and control the energy. It's very hard at times and very important. But when you're with Minnie and Mickey at Minnie and Mickey's Outpost in Animal Kingdom, and this little girl runs up to Minnie, hugs her, gives her the biggest kiss, biggest smooch, and you're sitting there behind the lens of a camera, capturing that moment, just watching this beautiful interaction take place. And you realize that for a second, this girl forgets that she is suffering from a disability. And, you know, you can see the look in the parents' eyes as they start watering. You get emotional. And that is an amazing experience. I just got goosebumps. I'm not even lying. That is an amazing experience. And it's like none other. Make-A-Wish kids, oh my gosh. Greatest in the world. The best. Because they are there. They are being helped to be there. Like, you know what I'm saying by that? They are so grateful for everything that you do for them. Because they're not really, I mean, they're paying for part of it, but not everything, you know, and we want to make that even more special because who knows? And with older people too. What I mean by that is I know a cast member who told me at the very beginning that they had photographed, you know, an older couple. They had a great time. It was one of the greatest photos they think they ever took, honestly. And then a week later, they got a call. Somebody had written to them that that person had died, had passed away. And that was the last photo that was ever taken of them.
Wow.
So your job is meaningful. Your role is meaningful. And it's just stuff like that that really makes you think about it. And it becomes sentimental. It becomes emotional. It's not just I'm sitting there snapping a camera all day. I'm not just shooting a camera at the gate of Animal Kingdom. I'm able to make someone's experience better and have them create a memory that they will go back and tell their kids about for the rest of their life when they become an old person.
For sure.
So it's much more than just what it seems like on face value. And like I said, I was privileged to be able to be there at the time I was. I was
Mhm.
telling you, Megan, before we started this, it was really weird because when the world went into mass chaos this year, I would have been last year going down to do my Disney college program. And if you were a person that their program was cut, my heart goes out to you, seriously.
Mhm.
But look forward to the future. This is not the end, and be optimistic.
For sure, for sure. No, I love all that you had to say about that, Matt. Like that's what, I love about Disney. What a lot of people love about Disney is just, the deeper meaning that it has for yourself, like it is a lot of people's happy place. And, especially for people that come that don't get to go as often, I know that it just means so much for them to be there, even though it can be hot, stressful. Kids are crying. At the end of the day, they look back and that's like some of their favorite memories. And just especially for you as a pass holder, cast member, I just think that that is such an awesome role to have. You play a huge role in their vacations and their memories, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's just super special. And like I said, I was blessed to have that opportunity
For
to
sure.
bring happiness to people and allow them to escape from reality.
Definitely, definitely. Oh, this is all of this talk. I love Disney so much, and these are, some of the reasons. And just to hear it from, a cast member, and just other memories from other people. It's always great to hear. I love it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you can't make it to Disney now with everything going on,
Mhm.
just wait. Go down and when you can, and just it will be that escape for you. Remember
Mhm.
that. Remember that. Let that be something that helps you through these difficult times, because these are difficult and strange times that we're going through. So allow that
Definitely.
to be motivation for you.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, the Disney magic is still there, and it'll be waiting for you when you can get back.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
love that. Well, thanks, Matt. This was great. I know I learned a lot. I loved hearing your experience. I'm really happy that I was able to ask you to join us, because I think that you
Yeah.
had such a unique experience and such a unique, outlook and perspective on the program. So I'm really happy that I was able to have you on here and chat a little bit about it.
Of course, Megan, it was my pleasure. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Um, like I said, I'm just so grateful to be able to have opportunities like this too, to
Yeah.
be able to talk with you. And like I said at the beginning, we went to high school together, and then life happens, and here we
Mhm.
are. So thank you for such a wonderful opportunity. And if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, please go do that,
For
and
sure.
my TikTok, to all the viewers out there. Thank you.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. No, I have all of Matt's, info and stuff linked down below. So definitely go and check out his channel. And if you want to see more of his Disney College program experience, some of the behind the scenes things, I know he has a lot of, like you said, he has a vlog series on there and has more content coming. And check out his Lego TikToks. They're pretty neat, everyone.
Even if you're not a Lego fan, they're still fun. They're still very
Definitely.
fun.
Definitely, definitely. Well, no, thanks so much again, Matt. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. I see Two Broke Mice. You were on here a lot. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And if you're watching on the replay, thanks so much for watching. And if you know anybody that's interested in the Disney College program, of course, send this video along to them. So that way, whenever it opens up next time, they'll have all the necessary info that they need to know about applying and going through the process of getting into the Disney College program.
You're more than welcome to DM me at any time as well.
For sure, for sure. No, I know you're a great, great person to go to and everything. So I'm glad that we were able to get this info out to everyone. Oh, so we have, I think, Two Broke Mice says one more thing. Do you think Disney will still? Oh, do you think Disney will still have the Disney College program after COVID?
If I were Disney, yes.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, right? We don't really know what's going to happen in the next 3 months, let alone the next year.
Yep.
Right now they're just in a place right now, and every company is, where they're taking it day by day.
Yeah.
And I think that, it would be awesome when they it's not if, it's when, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So because they always can use more cast members, and believe
Mm-hmm.
me, like being down there, the college program students make up a lot of what they do on a daily operational basis,
Yep.
and
Yep.
they really do need them when the park is at capacity. So I think when the park goes back to capacity, that will likely be instituted again.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think it's a great program. And yeah, once, like you said, everything gets back to normal and everything, I don't see why there wouldn't be a reason for them not to have it. I think it's a great thing for both Disney
Yeah.
and, you know, students, cast members. I think it's great all around.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So yeah, so hopefully we'll be waiting, you know, we'll have a positive, you know, mindset about it for whenever it comes back. And in my past self, if I would have known about it, I know I definitely would have hopped on this opportunity, but it's all good. It's all good. It's great, you know, being able to obviously go to the park and talk to people who had the experience to do it. So,
and you have to remember too that everything happens for a reason.
yep.
Everything is, you know, like if you did the Disney College program, you wouldn't be here and we wouldn't be having this conversation. You wouldn't be making a YouTube video. So
Yep.
that's awesome. And things happen as they will. And everybody, like I said, if your program was canceled, remember that too. And if you want to apply later, remember that too. And if you can't, like, it's just sequentially things happen for a purpose and you are always where you're supposed to be.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, no, thank you so much, Matt. This was great. I know I enjoyed it a ton, and I think I love your perspective on it. And I just think it's really, really awesome. And I just am really glad that I was able to have you on here and stuff.
Of course. It was my pleasure. Like I said, anytime, Megan.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, Matt. Thank you again, everyone, for watching. And we will see you guys next time for some more Disney talks. So see you guys.
Take care.